In this lesson, we're going to talk about graphs of equations, and we've got a lot to do. We'll be sketching graphs by hand, finding x and y intercepts. We'll write the standard form of an equation of a circle. That's going to involve completing the square. We'll find the points of intersection of two graphs, where two graphs intersect. What are those ordered pairs? Where's their location? And then, of course, we're going to take all of this and we're going to apply it to solve real-life applications. So here we go. Let's get started. So, finding x and y intercepts. X and y intercepts of the graph of each equation. Well, now the x-intercept is the value of x when y is 0. So the x-intercept is the value of x when y is 0. So I'm going to take my equation, I'm going to put a 0 in for y, and I'm going to solve for x. I'm going to solve by factoring. So I factor out the x, leaving me x squared minus 4. X squared minus 4 further factors to be x plus 2, x minus 2. So we completely factor. Now we use the zero product property. So let's write this in here. This now, so step 1, factor, right? Well, step 1 is put a 0 in for y. And then step 2 is factor. And then what's the big idea here? Zero product property. So number 1 and 2 are big ideas. Big ideas. So we've got, go back to our purple pencil. I highlight each variable factor. So I don't have time to write this down, but you have time to pause and say, hey, what did she say? She said each variable factor. And I don't like the orange with the yellow because I can't really see it that well. There we go. So we're going to highlight each variable factor, set it equal to 0. X equals 0, x plus 2 equals 0, and x minus 2 equals 0. Therefore, my x-intercepts are 0, negative 2, and positive 2. But these are not x-intercepts. These are what appears to be either solutions or maybe even equations of vertical lines. So our x-intercept is always written as an ordered pair. So 0, 0, negative 2, 0, and 2, 0. A common mistake is that sometimes students put those numerical values, 0, negative 2, and 2, in the wrong position. Remember, this is what x is equal to. So x is this. X is the first value of your ordered pair. And that is our x-intercepts. Now we have to find the y-intercepts. So let me take this and make it a little bit smaller. Give myself just a little bit of room. There we go. Now we're going to find the y-intercept. So the y-intercept is the value of y when x is 0. So we've got y equals 0 cubed minus 4 times 0. Y is equal to 0 minus 0, which is 0. So the y-intercept is 0, 0. You can see that when I have an intercept at the origin, it's called a y-intercept and an x-intercept. Let me give you a quick visual here. Here's your origin right here. That's 0, 0. It crosses through the x-axis and it crosses through the y-axis. Okay, so let's try again. Our x-intercept and our y-intercept. So our x-intercept and our y-intercept. So the x-intercept, we're going to factor, or do we even factor yet? We're going to put a 0 in for y, so this time I have x equals 0 squared minus 3. Well, that means I have an x-intercept at negative 3, 0. My y-intercept, put a 0 in for x, and I get 0 equals y squared minus 3. I'll add 3 to both sides, and now I'll square root both sides. When I square root both sides, I have to do a plus or minus. So I've got plus or minus the square root of 3 equals y. So I've got a y-intercept at positive square root of 3, and I've got a y-intercept at negative square root of 3. So my answer here is going to be negative 3, 0 for my x-intercept, 0, square root of 3 for my y-intercept, and 0, negative square root of 3 for my y-intercept. So 2 y-intercepts here.